Hello, my name is Kawanda Page. I'm in the EDU 4055 classroom behavior management class. I am doing a review of the humanistic approach to classroom models. Okay, getting started on my introduction. Okay, when you're teaching from a humanistic perspective, classroom management is it is a fostered, supported, student-centered environment that facilitates free expression and develops potentials with students. Choices, motivation, and self-awareness are considered conscious vehicles through which behavior can be conditioned. Rather than depending on a positive and negative reinforcement, teachers are encouraged to build relationships that embrace the uniqueness and wholeness of each student. In order to support them in fulfilling potentials and self-determination, message draws on quality techniques such as problem solving, goal setting, diary accounts which empower students in their own learning process. Carl Rogers is one of the founders of the humanistic approach. His theory of the self is considered to be humanistic. Carl's theory is based directly on phenomenal field theory. Okay, the characteristics of the humanistic approach. The Carl Rogers humanistic models of a classroom management are the most student-centered and the least directed in their approach. Carl Rogers advocates that students should have freedom to learn, such as inquiry learning, group projects, and self-assessment. According to Schuler, Ellis, and Clabby, the SDM/PS approach self-control and social awareness. These lessons and practice activities target such skills as listening, following directions, resisting provocation, avoiding provoking others, and self-monitoring stress and emotion. Students learn a self-comment technique in this set of lessons. Social decision-making thinking. As the student gradually masters the self-control and group social awareness skills, the instructional focus begins to shift to teaching the students and accept clear thinking strategies to help in social problems situations. Okay, practical application learner, center teaching. A person cannot teach another directly. A person cannot teach another person directly. A person can only facilitate another's learning. And Carl Rogers said that back in 1951. This is a result of his personality theory, which states that everyone exists in a constantly changing world of experience in which he or she is the center. Each person reacts and responds based on perceptions and experience. The belief is that what the student does is more important than what the teacher does. The focus is on the student. Therefore, the background and experience of a learner are essential to how and what is learned. Each student will process what he or she learns differently depending on what he or she brings to the classroom. The educational situation which most effectively promotes significant learning is one in which A, threat to the self of the learner is reduced to a minimum, B, differentiated perception of the field is facilitated. The instructor should be open to learning from the student and also working to connect the student to the subject matter. Frequent interaction with the student will help achieve this goal. The instructor acceptance of being a mentor who guides rather than the expert who tells is instrumental to student-centered, non-threatening, and unforced learning. Okay, It's a lot of approaches to humanistic teaching. Like some of the strengths. Like one strength is suggestopian. This method is based on the idea that the mind has great potential and can retain information by power of suggestion. This teaching method uses realization as a means of retaining new knowledge in their initial lessons, receives large quantity of information in the new language. The text is translated and then read aloud with classical music in the background. Another strength of this humanistic approach is called silent way. This method is based on a problem-solving approach to learning, whereby the student's learning becomes cooperative. The scope is to help students select the appropriate phases and how to control them with good information and rhythm. The teacher does not repeat the material nor supplies the phrase that the student has to imitate, and there is no use of the learning native language. And it's another strength is called the community language learner. And this method just simply involves students sitting in a circle, encourage them to use their feelings, intelligent relationships, and reaction. My conclusion to the humanistic approach model works. My conclusion is the humanistic approach model works for me. It is a nature model that helps students to understand their own self-worth. Also, the humanistic theories of learning tends to be highly valued, driven, and hence more like a prescription about what ought to happen rather than description of what does happen. The humanistic approach places a great deal of emphasis on student choice, control over the course or their education. Students are encouraged to make choices that range from day-to-day activities to periodically setting future life goals. This allows choices within reason. Humanistic teachers believe it is important for students to be motivated and engaged in the material they are learning. And this happens when the topic is something the students need and want to know. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you. Cut it off.